Yes, yet again, and unfortunately this kind of recall will continue to happen for the foreseeable future, due to the very simple reason that lithium-ion cells are inherently unstable and highly susceptible to damage and degradation. And there are so many ways in which lithium batteries can degrade that it's extremely difficult to avoid it, even if you're careful. Charging beyond 80%, discharging below 20%, charging too rapidly, discharging too rapidly, extreme heat and extreme cold can all cause chemical degradation of the internal components of each cell, increasing the risk of a breakdown of the internal structure, leading to heating and possible fire. And that's before you consider manufacturing defects or mechanical damage. So there will be plenty of these recalls happening in the future, and in order to minimize the risks if the worst does happen, manufacturers will be insisting you only charge to 80%, making that range anxiety even worse. Welcome back to MGUY, British engineer and lawyer, now Sydney-based YouTuber. Be sure to follow me on the usual socials for more content, links in the description, and if you haven't already, just click that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on any future videos. And if you'd like to make a small contribution to the channel, why not buy me a coffee? Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen. Take a look at this chart. It shows the myriad ways in which batteries can degrade, grouped into 6 different categories: high discharge current, that's doing too many drag races; high charging current, i.e. using the DC fast chargers too often; high state of charge, meaning exceeding 80% charge too frequently; low state of charge, i.e. letting the battery discharge too far; and then high and low temperatures. All of these elements can go towards battery degradation, leading to an increase in the risk of an internal short circuit, heating and fire. And this doesn't include defects in manufacturing or physical impacts or mechanical damage, which will also increase the risks. This is not surprising, given that battery cells are essentially a chemical soup in a metal can. And unfortunately this isn't confined to the cheap Chinese EVs that are churned out by the boatload. Many European car manufacturers rely on Chinese battery manufacturers, so even premium brands like Porsche and Mercedes aren't immune. Mercedes-Benz EQB EV recalled over battery fire risk. The automaker recommends owners only charge their EVs up to 80% state of charge until the fix is applied. Mercedes-Benz is recalling 7,362 EQB electric crossovers in the United States for high-voltage battery packs that may fail internally and catch fire. The company said it hasn't received any warranty claims, service reports or any other information related to this defect in the US. However, Mercedes is pushing through with the recall out of an abundance of caution. According to documents published by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, an internal short circuit of a battery cell in the high voltage pack might occur due to a combination of certain production and vehicle use conditions. Mercedes-Benz cited variations during an early stage production period at the supplier, combined with local external factors such as electric current ripples in the charging infrastructure or potential mechanical damage to the high voltage battery. The affected battery packs were manufactured by Farasis Energy in China. While there have been no reports of them catching fire stateside, the NHTSA's report mentions there have been reports of battery fires outside the US. That said, after investigating these incidents, Mercedes-Benz did not find the root cause of the problem, nor any specific combination of factors that could lead to the battery catching fire. Hence, the company has issued a global safety recall, which includes 7,362 units sold in the United States. And just a few days ago, Samsung batteries were in the news, having forced the recall of nearly 200,000 vehicles from 4 different brands for the same exact reason. Samsung battery fire risk ignites recalls for 180,000 cars across 4 brands. All of these Audi, Jeep, VW and Ford vehicles were recalled last year, but now we know the root cause was a Samsung issue. It's not every day that a recall manages to rope in multiple automakers at once, but today is one of those special occasions. Samsung just announced a recall affecting 180,196 vehicles across Ford, Audi and Stellantis, all due to a high-voltage battery pack that might fail and catch fire. Of all the affected brands, Stellantis gets the worst of it. According to Samsung, 155,096 Stellantis vehicles are at risk. The recall covers the 2020 to 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe and the 2022 to 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, both plug-in hybrid models. According to NHTSA, the battery packs in these vehicles sometimes have separator damage. That, combined with other interactions in the cells of the battery, could lead to a fire. Interestingly, Ford vehicles included in the recall could have a similar issue. Specifically, it affects the 2020 to 2024 Ford Escape and 2021 to 2024 Lincoln Corsair. Ford told Samsung that investigations revealed the high-voltage cell separator layer between its cathode and anode may be susceptible to damage as a result of the cell manufacturing process. On the flip side, neither Volkswagen nor Samsung specify what the core issue is for cars under that brand umbrella. The two cars included in the recall are the 2022 A7 and the 2022 to 23 Q5. Damage to the separator is just one of the ways in which the two sides of the battery can make contact, causing a very high discharge current, causing heating, which then causes fire. EV trucks are potentially at even greater risk, given the far greater quantities of batteries on board, and anything that can possibly cause a short circuit in these batteries poses a risk for fire, whether that's something internal to the cell or, in this case, something rattling around inside the battery pack. Volvo recalls electric trucks for battery fire risk. Volvo Trucks North America is recalling certain 2023 to 2025 Volvo VNR electric trucks due to a defect in the high-voltage battery packs that may lead to a short circuit and potential fire risk. The recall affects 13 units equipped with Borg-Warner Akasol Gen 3 batteries, which may contain loose hardware inside the battery pack. The issue was identified following an incident in January 2025, prompting an internal investigation. While no accidents or injuries have been reported, Volvo is proactively replacing the faulty batteries to ensure safety. Well, I have to say, a tank of petrol is pretty benign compared to a load of lithium-ion cells. It needs both oxygen and a source of ignition before it will burn, and in the fuel tank of a vehicle it will remain stable for a very long time. Lithium batteries, on the other hand, have the oxidizer already built into the chemistry, and it can create its own source of heat if discharged too quickly via a short circuit. Advances in manufacturing will no doubt reduce the risk, but there's only so much you can do with a device that is so inherently unstable. I fear that regular recalls will be a feature of EV ownership for the foreseeable future.